Yes.
Shane, excuse me, I'm sorry. Before you get into that, could you just introduce yourself and tell us all who you are for the people who listen to the recording and don't know you?
Yeah, a little bit of a bio here. I'm sorry. I'm with the website geoengineeringwatch.org. Michael Murphy and myself, there's a few of us that are part of that site. I have a background with Bechtel Power Corporation in renewable energy. Worked on one of the first commercial solar plants in the continental U.S. My home was on the world's largest renewable energy magazine. That's how I got onto this issue. I'd been told about it, but it was frankly very skeptical. And when I moved to Northern California expecting clean air with a very large, completely off-grid home and started to lose on some days 50, 60, 70, even 80% of my solar uptake from these intermittent grid patterns, clearly something was wrong. Something was going on in the sky. Quickly came on the subject of geoengineering, and my life has been on hold ever since, over a decade. Prior to this, my area of study and research was climate change and the atmosphere, and that, of course, tailed right into this. And so this is the majority of what I've done for the last 10 years. Not a battle I wanted in any sense, but one I just simply felt if it was not stopped, nothing else would matter. I feel that more than ever today. And if on the temperature anomalies we see, I'm sure everybody's seen these wild swings in temperature, and it's very apparent now they are doing massive manipulation with the jet stream in conjunction with the aerosols. And my conclusion on that, and we can go into Q&A here in a minute because I like that best anyway, but I believe that the planet is in full-blown meltdown. I'm not an Al Gore fan. I'm not a carbon credit fan, but that does not change the reality on the ground. Geoengineering appears to be, from my research, the largest single causal factor. We've been not very kind to the planet. I don't think anybody can argue that one, but geoengineering is by far the largest wrench in the works that appears to have triggered climate feedback loops. One of those feedback loops is methane expulsion, which appears to be completely released or triggered at this point, and that in conjunction with the shredded ozone layer is certainly a result of geoengineering. We are in uncharted territory, and the methane expulsion is not a century-long event. It's not a decade-long event. It happens over the course of a few years, and all available data indicates it's happening now, and this is a global game-changing event. And the paradox is, again, geoengineering appears to be one of the largest single causal factors, the largest causal factor, because geoengineering alters wind patterns along with HAARP, which then alters ocean currents. Now we have ocean currents that used to turn south from the Atlantic before they went into the Arctic. Now they go straight into the Arctic. That's part of the reason the methane hydrates have thawed. Shredded ozone, another reason they've thawed. And so as the methane releases, many people might have heard that methane is 20 times more potent than CO2 as a greenhouse gas. But in fact, that's over a 100-year time horizon. Over a 10-year time horizon, it's over 100 times more potent. So the magnitude of this cannot be overstated. And the reservoir that's releasing in the East Siberian Shelf of the Arctic is massive. And it has the potential to extinguish life on Earth, that reservoir alone. So again, the paradox is the more they spray, the more they apparently feel they have to spray in order to cover up the damage they've already done. It's painting us straight into a corner, but it's all they know how to do. It's all they're geared to do. It's what their money-making bonanza is. So anyway, I feel at this point, and I'll go into Q&A here in a second, that we are really at the apex here, and the temperatures are changing radically. There's temperatures in some places in the Arctic right in the last 30, 45 days that have been 50 degrees above normal. And there's huge swings. There's other areas that have been below normal, like Alaska. But it just depends on where they're ice nucleating, which, if anybody doesn't know what that is, it appears that almost every precipitation event now is being ice nucleated. That's chemical nucleation. It's a chemical process by which snow can be created according to the patents we have, of up to 50 degrees. We see the same thing happening on the ground. Shouldn't be snowing at those temperatures, obviously, but as this nucleation process continues, it appears to cool the air mass below it temporarily. And in Northern California, we had temperatures as low as 20 degrees below some 2-3 weeks back, not far from where I live. and now we're up pushing 80 degrees. And same thing, Atlanta, a little over a week ago, Atlanta, Georgia was 85 degrees. It snowed 3 days later. People should really question this, obviously. And the nucleation process appears to be their last card. We don't know what's in these chemicals. We're seeing very anomalous snow that stays frozen, and ponds that are packed with this stuff that stay frozen long after freezing temperatures are gone. The chemical nucleation process appears to continue on, actually gassing some of the water out of those ponds. They're doing over Siberia right now, is completely buried in snow. The radar, we can see them ice nucleating. You can see what was a rain cell that flashes out the snow as it's got this material dumped on it. So anyway, I'll go to Q&A, but I believe right now that what they have triggered is so cataclysmic, and paleo data backs this up, paleoclimatic data, that they now are in total desperation trying to cover up what they've helped to cause, and now the stakes are as high as they could be. And even to put this in perspective, the Arctic Methane Emergency Group, AMEG is the acronym, a lot of geoscientists there, Ken Caldera is one, if anybody's familiar with his name, but their latest proposals to stop this methane are to use the ionosphere heaters, which are the HAARP facilities around the globe, and try to use opposing frequencies to nuke the atmosphere in a desperate and completely destructive attempt to degrade the methane before it completely saturates the atmosphere. So this is total desperation mode, and I think that we're all in for quite a ride from here. But my belief from all my research is that if they don't stop geoengineering, if they don't allow the planet to respond, if they don't allow the hydrological cycle to resume, quit poisoning the boreal forests, quit shredding the ozone layer, if they don't allow the planet to respond on its own, I believe our future looks bleak indeed.
Dane, it was just a couple months ago I first heard about the methane issue. I'd never heard that before. And could you explain how that works to people who've never heard about that? I think a lot of people have not even heard about that before. Methane, I mean, how is the spraying actually facilitating the methane release in a positive feedback cycle?
Again, I can't, in good conscience, hang it completely around the neck of geoengineering. I mean, we certainly have done great harm to our planet. But that being said, it does appear that geoengineering is the single greatest causal factor. Again, there are certain issues that are crystal clear scientifically. The geoengineering particulates shred ozone, period. There is absolutely no debate scientifically about that fact. We have massive northern and southern hemisphere ozone holes. Really all available data points toward geoengineering being the cause, not CFCs, not chlorofluorocarbons, but geoengineering, as they've been at this for about 6 decades, and that's about the time the ozone holes, southern hemisphere started to develop, northern hemisphere shortly after. And so you have more of the sun's thermal energy penetrating the atmosphere now. You have, although they can create, and they do, between HAARP maneuvering the jet stream and the ice-nucleated particulates and the simple blocking of the sun, they can and do create massive cooling events over huge areas. But it absolutely appears to be at the cost of a much worsened overall warming. So it truly is cutting your nose off to spite your face. And as they alter, as I mentioned earlier, they alter wind currents, which alters ocean currents. Now you have warm water going to the Arctic. Methane is the greatest source of carbon that has the potential to release from the atmosphere, bar none. And this one reservoir alone in the East Siberian Shelf is thought to contain some 10,000 gigatons of methane. This is frozen methane on the sea floor. If only 60 of that 10,000 gigatons released, that would increase by 400% the total greenhouse gas to date. Only 60 of that 10,000. So you can get an idea of the magnitude of that. If any significant percentage of that reservoir releases, it's game over on planet Earth. So I don't think they can hide this for long. It's changing temperatures by the day, and I think they will try to spin geoengineering into some last-ditch save-all, and it's important that enough people understand it's not a cure but a curse, so that when they try to sell this to us, people will already know better. But that's how the methane is released. It's been happening for many decades. Bermuda Triangle, that's methane release, not aliens. When these methane fields release, it aerates the ocean like a bottle of champagne. Ships have no buoyancy, they go to the bottom. So this has been happening for a long time. But the Arctic reservoir is very, very large, and it's also acidifying the ocean. As the methane releases, much of it dissolves in the seawater as it reaches the surface, and the oceans are acidifying right now at breakneck speed. So this is a multi-edged sword, and none of it good.
Okay, so to make this simple for people, they're shredding the ozone layer. More sunlight is reaching the methane depots, or these methane reservoirs, and then the methane is being released, causing a further heating, which is then increasing. It's acting like positive feedback and just increasing the whole cycle. Is that basically right in a nutshell?
Yes, but it's more of the sun's thermal energies, not necessarily direct sunlight, because again, global dimming right now, another term many are not familiar with, is fully 20% on planet Earth. That means over the last 5 decades, 20% of the sun's direct rays no longer reach the surface of the planet, again a result of geoengineering. So, I mean, the amount of decimation being caused by geoengineering, it can't be quantified. Again, it's shredding the ozone, altering wind currents, releasing methane, poisoning everything that lives, the boreal forests, which are the lungs of the planet, the northern latitude forests, Siberia, the Pacific Northwest. I spent my life in the forest, and it looks absolutely horrific. I just came in prior to making this call, and the devastation is cataclysmic. And so now you have these forests that were the lungs of the planet that were a carbon sink that absorbed carbon. Now they are a carbon source. They're emitting carbon because they are dying. So, I mean, there's nothing that's not being harmed by geoengineering. It is harming everything. But the sun's thermal energy, Russ, again, it's not always in the form of direct sunlight. It's like a cloudy day on the beach. You know, you can still get sunburnt. And another part of this feedback loop is the Arctic ice cap. Many people, the global warming debate rages on, and it really should not. Although there is a small section of Antarctica that has, in fact, increased the sea ice slightly, and that we fully believe is from ice nucleation, areas that it did not snow before, did no precipitation because it was too cold. The air didn't contain enough moisture to precipitate. Now it does have enough moisture. It is precipitating, and there's sea ice forming, but that doesn't mean it's getting colder. It's not getting colder. And in the case of the Arctic ice cap, it almost completely imploded this year. Media is not covering this. During most of the melt season, the Arctic ice cap was losing 100,000 square kilometers of surface area a day. Near the end of the ice season, the melt season, it was 130,000 square kilometers a day. It's not expected to last more than 2 or 3 more years. No ice. Again, back to the methane. Instead of the surface of the ice reflecting 90% of the sun's thermal energy, now the sea absorbs 90+% of that thermal energy. So add that increased absorption of sunlight from the open seawater, add the ocean currents that are now delivering warm water, add the increased thermal energy from the sun, from the shredded ozone. Bad mix, bad combination. Methane releases, causes heating, more ice melt, more absorption, positive feedback loop. Very, very clear, easy to understand.
All right, let me ask you some hard questions real quick, because I know everybody is asking themselves this, and they respect what you think, and they'd like to know what you think. I think. How long until this process affects every soul on Earth? How long till it's an actual, something that nobody, even the people who are trying to deny most and go on with their lives, have to deal with?
Based on the data I see, I don't believe they'll be able to hide this past the end of this year, perhaps not even that long. And I believe that the ramifications from this event are unfolding so rapidly.
Live, this is One for the Record. I'm Diana, and today is August 21st, 2013, and here are your news updates for today. Alrighty then, a very late start because I was uploading a very interesting video, but I had to cut it down. It was like 20 minutes. But this guy said he has had contact with aliens and he recorded it. So his actual original video, you'd have to look under my attributes, and you could follow it there and get to his channel. But I don't know. You'll see. I'm attaching it at the end. I'll put the chemtrails on first, and you decide. It almost sounds like actually sounds like birds. Well, I don't know. Has anyone ever slowed down what the chirping of birds to see what he's saying? But he's saying it's aliens. It could be. I don't know what it is. But this was from August 16th, and he's all excited from it. So I thought I'd share it with you guys and get your feedback on it. We'll see. Alrighty then, but he's saying he has had contact, and he has it. I listened to it, and there is something saying, talking to him. It's on the video, but I don't know. It actually sounds like a bird, just the way it sounds. Somehow a bird is like mocking him or something. I don't know. Alrighty then, on with the news. The Watchers watching the world. Study safety assessments on nearly all common food additives found to be manipulated by processed food industry. Also today, strong and shallow earthquake magnitude 6.2 struck Hierro, Mexico. Also, let's move this down, see what else there is. Worst flooding in decades hit China, worst in 120 years for Russia's Far East. Also, yesterday's sun-grazing comet in far-side full halo, CME. Righty then. That was yesterday. Moving on. Let's go to the Extinction Protocol 2012 and beyond. 2 phreatic eruptions reported at Costa Rica's Poas volcano. Also, today, opposition says as many as 1,300 killed in gas attack near Damascus. Also, Japan's nuclear plant crisis deepens. China expresses shock. Also, Atlantic Ocean floor oozing massive iron cloud plume. An iron cloud plume, that would probably turn the sea red. Also, let's move this down a little bit. U.S. grapples with rise in serious infections as tick populations explode. Wow, be careful out there. Alrighty then. Let's see. And you know that on a tick, you don't just pull them off, because the head will stay underneath the skin and there'll be an infection, be it the dog or you or cat. You don't just pull them off. You go I believe it's counterclockwise, with like a tweezer thing that has like a rubber band on it, so that you put the tweezer on it, you roll the rubber band down on it so it clamps onto it, and then you unscrew it. You unscrew it, okay? And that's how you get it off. Make sure there's no head. Yeah, I had to do that once for one of my dogs. Not these, a long time ago. Yeah, and it looked first, I could think it jumped on him, it was green. And then it turns brown from all the blood it starts sucking up out of the animal. And you can't just rip it off of them. Remember that. Or a person. You've got to put a... I had to make a makeshift one. You can either buy them at the vet. They're pretty expensive. Or if there's an emergency, you can't get to the vet, or don't have the money to go to the vet or one of those pet places, then what you got to do is get a tweezers and a rubber band. Tweeze onto its butt, and the rubber, like a little tiny rubber band, like the kind that you use for braces and stuff like that. Well, the real tiny rubber bands are for hair, and then you roll it down on there, and it'll clamp it down on the stupid thing, and then counterclockwise untwist the thing till it comes out like a cork, like a screw. You get on, you know. Alrighty then, moving on. Alright, let's go to breaking news. I guess E&E News is not coming up. It says it can't show the page. Something going on with E&E News. They must be uploading a lot of stuff, or something major might be going on, so heads up on that. Alright. NASA former space shuttle astronaut and test pilot C. Gordon Fullerton died at age 76. That's coming out of AP 36 minutes ago. Let's see what else we got. More residents allowed back. Local events still planned in Blaine County, Idaho, as fire growth slows. That's coming out of KTVB. Alrighty then. Well, we can't get the E&E News. The energy news. I'll try one more time, and then we'll call it. You stay tuned, listen to this guy's story. I had to show you, because, you know, I show you guys everything. There might be some truth to it. Okay, let's see if we can get into E&E News real quick. I guess not. Oh, wait, here we go. Must be something going on. If it doesn't load, we're not going to worry about it. We'll just catch it tomorrow, since it's so late anyway. Waiting for E&E News. Okay, it's not. Alrighty then. It is Wednesday Hump Day. It is 3 days down, 2 to go before the weekend. I'll see you again on the flip side. Stay tuned. And it doesn't look like a cat looking in my window back there. I don't know why the digital camera, the HD camera, picks it up. I'm looking back in my window. That's weird stuff. I gotta go out there one more time to walk the dogs. Yeah, the dogs are going with me. Yeah, dogs have to go with me if I go outside one more time. That's just weird stuff. It's picking up. Very strange. Alrighty then. Take care. Be prepared for anything. And stay tuned. I'll catch you on the flip side tomorrow.
Greetings people, Paul Muckle here. Today is August 16, 2013 at 9:57 p.m. Eastern Time. This is it, people. My people. Today, this day, I'm going to bring you the most stunning, the most awesome, out of this world evidence, okay, of a radio transmission that I picked up from outer space. Okay, people? People, I, Paul Muckle, do hereby swear, under the penalties of being publicly humiliated and ridiculed and booted off YouTube and lose all my friends and all my supporters. Under the penalty of that, I'm going to put my reputation on stake right now. I'm going to put my reputation out there right now, people. Okay? That if I don't show you, if I don't prove to you today the existence of aliens, if I don't prove it to you today, people, then all my friends, you have to just diss me and leave me. Okay? I'm putting my reputation and my love for you online today. Okay? Because people, I have the proof that mankind have been waiting for the past 2,000 or so or more years. The proof of the existence of aliens. And it's a radio transmission, but it's on video, so that might make it even more foolproof, because you're going to see for yourself. It's on video, so you're going to see for yourself where the transmission is coming from. Appropriate for me to release this video on CIA. You all could take this video, okay? You all could take this video and analyze it yourself. You see, I'm putting myself out there. Take this video, CIA, NASA, and SETI. I'm going to show you all the parts to take. Take the video, analyze it for yourself. And you tell me, no, you tell the people, if this is not an authentic alien transmission that speaks in some kind of language, then when you do your thing, it's going to speak in English. Okay, so people, before I do that first, let me give you a little history. A brief history of how I got pinned. And people know BS, right? I was singing to it, right? You running and you running and you running away. You running and you running and you running away. But you can't run away from yourself. And I'm saying, why are you running away, my Lord? Okay? And people, no BS, he spoke back. People, this object, whatever it is, you could call it the sun, I don't care what you want to call it. It spoke back. Okay? And I have it on record. And you are going to see, people. You are going to see, right, for yourself, that the camera actually moved. Okay? The camera actually jumped when the voice spoke. So it shows you that whatever it was so powerful, right, people, that it made my hand jump. So you could make out the last sentence. Me the God. Listen to very keenly again, people. He said me clearly at the end. He said me the God. Listen to it again. Then download it. Download the RAW file. The part where it's speaking normal. Download it for yourself. Slow it down at half speed. Put on your headphones and you're going to hear the voice for yourself. So you won't think that I'm crazy. I made it. I couldn't have made it. It's impossible for me to have the technology to make this. And there wouldn't be so much static in it if I had made it. Listen again. See, said ja. People, do y'all hear that? Jah. He's not God. Me the God. People, like I said, okay, the first part, download this one into your computer. You have to have a video making, maybe even Windows Movie Maker. Anything that could play video at half speed. Okay, you gotta slow it down, half speed, right? Put on your headphones. And you're going to hear it for yourself. Let me show you all the part, the RAW file to download, okay? Here we go.
Why do you keep running away, my
my lord. So if you download this, okay, so from this part here where it say, watch camera jump, listen to screechy voice, then bird tweet. So from there, right, you download that part, and then you slow it to a half speed. Let's go again. You hear the bird screech? He said, rah, horakitiri. That's why it sounds like it's saying, rah, horakitiri, right? Download that part, because that's a raw video. Download it and play it for yourself at half speed. People that would not have the technology or the know-how to do this. And if I did it, it wouldn't be so much static. Okay, so this is what y'all have been waiting for, people. And people, I hear it more. I don't have it on record, but I hear them speaking, people. They communicate with me telepathically. What do y'all think I said the stuff I say? How do y'all think I know the things I know? We got to put it in my head. Some of it make me have to figure it out myself, but they put it in my head, people. People, we're not alone. And this is the proof. So NASA and SETI, this video have a lot of static in it. Come, I challenge you. I challenge any credible person out there who have the know-how. Come to me, get the raw video. Get the raw video and decipher it for yourself. Listen to it. There's more voices on there. But some of it I cannot hear because there's so much static in it. What people, there are voices in this video. And NASA, they know about it. They know the truth. Okay? They know the truth, but they won't tell us the truth. I believe they really know the truth, that we're not alone. But in case you want to be ignorant, here's the proof. Here's the video. It's on here. It's online. Okay? Here's the there goes the link to it. There goes the link. Copy the link. And go to